Hello and welcome to this video intended for Essential Math 40S students. Today we're going to talk about the gross debt service ratio. This is how banks and other lending institutions can determine whether or not you can actually afford the house that you want to buy. They want to make sure that you can pay back the mortgage payment every month so that they don't have to foreclose on the house because they end up losing money in that process. How they do that is by using this formula for something called the gross debt service ratio. A ratio is just a number that can be expressed as a fraction or a percentage. And what they're doing is they're comparing your debt, your house-related debt, these items on the top, to how much you get paid. And if too much of your pay is taken up by house-related debt, they're not going to lend you the money for the mortgage. So let's go and look at a calculation, and we'll discuss what the answer means. In example 1, you want to buy a house. Your monthly mortgage payment is going to be $1,250. Your monthly heating cost is $135. Your monthly property tax is $210. And you have a gross pay of $4,150 per month. It says to calculate the Gdsr, and then we'll discuss what the answer means. I've included the formula here. I know it's really small. This would be on your exam formula sheet. You wouldn't need to waste cheat sheet space on it. So Gdsr is equal to monthly mortgage payment, which in this case would be $1,250, plus monthly heating costs, which would be $135, plus your monthly property tax, which would be $210. Usually the bank would be able to access these numbers for any house that you're looking at buying. And then you divide that by the gross pay of everybody that's working in the household and is going to partake in paying the mortgage. So if you're married, for example, and you and your spouse are both working and your names are both on the mortgage, they would take your gross pay combined. So we don't know who this is or where they get their gross pay from, but they get $4,150 a month, and then times 100. A quick note on using this formula: once you've added up the top part, make sure to press equals on your calculator. Okay, so when I add up the top, if I go 1250 plus 135 plus 210, I get $1,595. That's how much per month you're going to pay in house-related debt. And we're going to divide that by our gross pay times 100. And when you do that, so 1595 divided by 4150 times 100, just like it sounds on your calculator, we get, and I'm rounding off, we get 38%. What this number means is that 38% of your pay is going to be taken up by paying for your house. Banks don't like to see that number any higher than 32%. Over 32% is bad, which I'll show with a frowny face. Under 32% is good. If you take it to the extreme, if your debts were $4,150 and you only made $4,150 a month, you would have nothing left to spend on food or clothes or entertainment, furniture, cleaning, anything in your house. So they want to make sure that you have money left over after paying your house debts to pay for all the other things in your life. This person, since they're at 38%, that is too high for most banks, and so they would say to that person that they're not going to lend them the money to buy this house. They either need to find a cheaper house or they need to get a raise, something to make this percentage a little bit smaller. The other type of question you'll see related to Gdsr is kind of working this backwards. They'll give you gross pay in a couple of your expenses from the top, and then they'll ask you the maximum amount you can pay for one of the other expenses. So here we have a gross pay of $3,890. Okay. Heating is $150 and property tax is $300. They don't want you finding the Gdsr. They want you to calculate the maximum affordable mortgage payment. So be careful of what they're asking. The formula doesn't do us much good here because unless you're a pro at algebra, you're going to have a weird unknown in there. So we'll do this a different way. If I make $38.90 The bank says that I'm allowed to pay up to 32% of that for house-related debt. So if I multiply that by 0.32, that's 32%, remember to move the decimal over, what I end up getting is $1,244.80, which means according to the bank every month, that's the amount of money I can spend on house-related debt. But I already know how much I'm going to be spending on heating and property tax, so if I subtract heating from that amount, and I subtract the property tax from that amount, then what I end up with, after minus 150 and minus 300, is $794.80, and that would be the maximum affordable mortgage payment. I hope this helped you with the calculation of GDSR and one of these weird questions, and thanks for watching the video.